One of the best sounding songs on the album, but even though it's got puppets doing drugs, we're still not sure if the music video is the craziest one from this album. But guys, I guess that's what you get when you listen to Panic at the Disco. Let's go. Hi everybody, I'm Clifford Stummy. Welcome to the Pop Song Professor YouTube channel where we make English class awesome by explaining and sometimes roasting song lyrics on weekdays. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Today we are talking about Hey Look Ma, I Made It from Panic at the Disco's new album, Pray for the Wicked. And this one is really interesting. It's the second full music video from the album, and there's a lot to unpack here, both in the music video and the lyrics. But I want to say real quick that if you're watching this channel for the first time, or if you haven't watched my other videos about Panic at the Disco, check out the playlist in the description. It's got a full album review of Pray for the Wicked and lots of other Panic at the Disco explanations, including tons from this album. Just go ahead and like press Command or Control click so that you got it up in another tab and you can watch it later. Oh, and subscribe. But let's jump into the music video first. Essentially, we see Brendon turn into a like puppet version of himself, says goodbye to Brendon Urie's actual parents, which is pretty cool that they're in the music video, and then he drives off to LA. Once he gets there, he signs with a big record label who definitely, the guy looks super sinister and like he's probably up to no good. The gold tooth kind of gives it away. Brendon Urie starts to get famous, or the puppet version starts to get famous, hanging out with babes, doing drugs. Wait, he's doing drugs? Oh gosh, now he's getting into really weird stuff. And things are getting super intense, and his life starts to fall apart, but then he's like looking in the mirror, and the real version of Brendon Urie is looking at him saying, hey, you need to pull it together. So he does that, flushes the drugs down the toilet, and eventually he starts making good music again, I guess. And at the very end, he's like accepting an award, things are great, and the record label comes out, throws the puppet version of him away, and the music video ends. And the narrative that we see here is a very common one, particularly with young bands that have like a really good start and then they kind of crash and burn, or rappers who do the same thing. Basically, the little puppet version of Brendon Urie is getting famous, and he just kind of gets fallen to the wayside when he's not really popular anymore and the record label decides to move on to somebody else. Now, is this Brendon Urie talking about his own rise to fame? Probably not, because he certainly hasn't been thrown on the waste pile, and he acts as the moral conscience to puppet Brendon, and so it seems like he's maybe a little bit above the temptations that puppet Brendon falls to, even though one of Brendon's like main mottos or themes that we see in his music is kind of the embracing of Saturday night, or being a quote-unquote sinner, or praying for the wicked. But at the same time, this music video is published on his record label's YouTube page, and so it doesn't seem like he's trying to say, yeah, my record label screwed me over, because it's on Fueled by Ramen's page. That being said, let's jump into some of these lyrics. All my life been hustling, and tonight is my appraisal, so he feels like he's being measured for something that he's done. And then this is one of the most interesting ways that he describes being an artist. He says, cause I'm a hooker selling songs and my pimp's a record label. So that might be a little bit of a vote in favor of relationships between him and the record label not always being the greatest, I suppose, but he doesn't really capitalize on that explanation, so we can't really get behind the drama if there is any. This world is full of demons, stocks and bonds, and Bible traders, so I do the deed, get up and leave, a climber and a sadist. He calls himself a climber and a sadist, and so he's trying to get more out of life, and it's difficult, it's painful, and so it's kind of as if though he loves the pain of trying to get more. But it comes at a price. In verse 2, we hear friends are happy for me, or they're honeysuckle phonies, then they celebrate my medals, or they want to take my trophies. And so he doesn't feel like he can always trust people who are around him. Sometimes they just want something from him, and it's a little bit difficult. So basically, Brendon Urie does a pretty good job both in music video and in lyrics to kind of talk about some of the upsides and the excitements, but also the downsides and the difficulties of being famous and of having achieved or accomplished your dreams. It's an interesting music video. I definitely recommend going and watching it down there. Be sure to check out my playlist with all of the other explanations of tons of Panic at the Disco songs, including that big album review and lots of other songs from Pray for the Wicked. You can click on some of them right here, or hit that playlist down below. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll talk to you next time.